are saying as well. But first things first, let's take a look at what the US markets did. And Snehi, there really is no stopping S&P 500, is there?
Well, S&P 500 for sure, but the real outperformer, or the one index to watch out for yesterday was Nasdaq, powered by what stellar moves we've seen in Nvidia coming yesterday. And we'll tell you through everything that was happening with Nvidia as well. But first up, let's take a look at what was happening in the US markets on an overall basis. Stock futures are little changed in overnight trading after the S&P 500 notched a new record closing high thanks to a rally in artificial intelligence chip darling Nvidia. Now, Lululemon jumped 10% in extended trading as the sportswear manufacturer beat expectations in its first fiscal quarter. Five Below sank nearly 15% on lackluster results and guidance. Now, stocks are coming off a winning session because the S&P 500 jumped almost 1.2% at close at that 5,354 level. The index also touched a new intraday all-time high of 5,354 as well. The Nasdaq, however, has jumped 2%, a real outperformer in yesterday's trading session. That also hit a new record. Well, the Dow Jones Industrial Average added almost 0.2%, so lackluster moves coming over there, but in the green nonetheless. But when you compare it with both S&P and Nasdaq, that was lagging behind slightly. Now, Wall Street is looking ahead to tomorrow's non-farm payrolls report for May, with investors on the hunt for signs of a weakening labour market, which could support rate cuts from the Federal Reserve. Private payrolls data from ADP released yesterday showed a slowdown in hiring. So we'll just have to see how this pans out for their economy and what the next move of the Fed is. Because remember, today you have ECB's rate decision. Tomorrow you have Shaktikanta Das, who will be announcing the MPC's policy rate decision. And over the course of next week, you also have the Fed coming out with their rate decision outcome. So lots of interesting central bank movement also happening, and lots to watch out for when it comes to the macro front. But while this is what US was up to, let's quickly switch focus and also take a look at what Europe markets were doing. And well, pretty solid moves coming here as well, because DAX closed up 1% higher, FTSE 0.2% higher, and the overall stock 600 also very solid moves coming over here. 0.8% higher is where the stock 600 has closed. So well, very good moves coming in. But yes, the key factor to watch out for today from the European markets is going to be the ECB rate decision, as well as what Christine Lagarde has to say in her commentary. Well, largely a rate cut is expected. But let's just sit tight and wait out and watch what happens on that front. But Shanzi, while this is on the equities front, very good handover coming in. What's the world of crude doing?
Absolutely. So it's very interesting what we're seeing happen with oil as well as gold, because there's been a roller coaster with gold as well. But we'll come to that. First of all, when you look at crude oil futures, rose more than 1%, bouncing back from 4-month lows after a decision by OPEC Plus to increase production triggered a sell-off this week. So now when you look at US crude and global benchmark Brent, they're down nearly 4% this week after 8 OPEC Plus members agreed on Sunday to gradually phase out 2.2 million barrels per day in production cuts. Let's take a look at prices then, and when you take a look at WTI, you're looking at $74 levels a barrel and an uptick of about 82 cents or over a percent. Year to date, though, US crude oil is up 3.3%. And when you look at Brent as well, that one was around $78 a barrel, up about 89 cents or over a percent. And year to date, that one is also up 1.7%. Now, rising oil inventories in the US weighed on prices earlier in the session on Wednesday. So when you take a look at US crude stockpiles as well, there's interesting data coming in there as well, because US crude stockpiles grew by 1.2 million barrels last week, according to data from the EIA, and this far outpaced analyst expectations of the 2.3 million barrel draw that was being penciled in earlier. So that is as far as US oil stockpiles are concerned. But like I mentioned, gold had quite the roller coaster day, because gold prices did gain on Wednesday as bond yields fell after weaker than expected US private payrolls data bolstered expectations that the Federal Reserve would cut interest rates later this year. So when you take a look at the price movement coming in for gold, spot gold was up 1.1%, around those 2,300 levels per ounce, and this was after a 1% fall in the previous session. So
if you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.